Good morning. Welcome back to Time with Steel Garage. And oh yeah, I know some of you excited right now because you know exactly what's sitting behind me. For those of you who don't, they're just joining the channel. This is a 1988 Mercedes 300E Gold Edition, given to me by one of my best friends. She was tired. I rebuilt the suspension, the brakes, lowered her, did a bunch of stuff, drove her to work for about a year, and then I decided to get saucy and put a 2JZ in it. Now, all the videos are on my page if you guys want to see. I've literally recorded from day one till now building this car. But for the quick summary, I took a 58,000 mile motor out of a wrecked IS300, stripped it down, rebuilt it, forged rods, super pistons, all the good stuff, precision turbo, and this thing is now a 2JZ Nat, basically an N8 turbo car. It's got a Japanese Aristo A340E transmission in it that I've already put a shift kit in. There's videos for that too if you want to watch. And she's full of dust because she's been sitting for a few months. You know, we've been busy on the channel. So I decided to take a break and get back into the Merc, take a break from everything else that we're doing, get back into the Merc and get some work done on it. Now, today's going to be pretty cool because as you can see, I've got her kind of stripped down. And I've already started sanding on the paint. You know, I went back and forth on what I was going to do with this car. I even thought about doing a full paint job on it because I've got so much work into it at this point. But to be honest with you, I kind of dig it the way it is. The car's gangster. It's got awesome patina. And I used it as a business logo advertisement car for a while. And when I tried to take all those vinyl decals off, it totally wrecked the paint. So what I decided to do, and I've already kind of sanded the hood down here with some red Scotch-Brite and 300 grit, but I'm going to sand this whole car with a combination of red, gray Scotch-Brite pads and sandpaper, get all the flaking clear coat off of it, tape it up, and I'm going to try the Vice Grip Garage Wipe On Clear Patina. I went with the gloss because when there's parts of this car that are glossy, look really good when it's clean. So I think, you know, we're going to clear coat this whole thing, and I think it's going to look rad because it's going to have, you know, 40 years of aging locked in. Rust, you know, it's going to kind of have that old shop car look because my logo is kind of burned into the hood. So I'm pretty excited about it. So today's goal, get this thing clear coated, and I'm going to bring you along on the whole process. So the first thing we got to do, fill a bucket with water and Dawn dish soap. Get out the gray Scotch-Brite pads. I want to go over the whole car with gray Scotch-Brite. Then I'm going to come back over the car in the troublesome spots with the peeling clear coat, get those down, and then I'll sand to a smooth finish with whatever sandpaper I got to use. But for right out of the gate, all I want to do is get the whole car clean and sanded with gray Scotch-Brite. Let's get into it. All right, well, I just got the whole car wet sanded with Scotch-Brite gray and red. And I realized that you're sanding on your paint. This is permanent. This is on you. But this car was covered in a whole lot of black overspray. I don't know why. I think somebody at some point tried to spray paint the bumpers, and just the whole car had black dots on it. So I had to use red in a lot of spots. I had to use red to knock down some peeling in a lot of spots, and then come back over the top with gray. Yeah, and it's a pretty good workout. I don't recommend doing this with car wash soap because a lot of those soaps have like liquid waxes in them and stuff. That's why I'm using Dawn. But so the next step here is we're gonna push this thing outside and give it a good actual wash, a bath, everything, glass, all the glass, the whole car, the wheels, get everything as clean as we can. Then we're gonna push it back in the shop, let it dry, tape it up, and then we'll get to the fun stuff. we got her washed. I mean, hand washed real good. Bumpers, trim, wheels, everything. And then it started raining right at the end, but got it pushed back in the shop. Now we just gotta wait for it to dry. So I'm probably gonna go in, spend some time with my kid. I got the fans on, I got the dehumidifier going. We're kind of stuck till this thing dries off, but most of that sanded paint and wet sanding stuff, it stays embedded in the paint. You gotta physically wash it out, so it's gotta be real clean. And if you got a pressure washer, I recommend using one. Of course, mine's broke, so got it as clean as I can get it. The next step after we get it taped is wiping it down with degreaser. Then we'll hit it with a tack cloth, and then it's time for the fun stuff. But I'll bring you back when it's time. All right, I just got done wiping the whole car with cleaner degreaser, and I just want to show you guys how dirty that clean paint really is. Look at this rag. That was like hospital white when we started. See how dirty that is? And then after I wiped everything, I went back over it with clean rags, and you can see still dirty. Still dirty. So these are lint-free rags, and guess what they aren't? Free of lint. So a tack cloth is definitely a necessary step. But for now, I got some yellow automotive refinish masking tape here, and I get to start the fun part that nobody enjoys of masking off the entire car. Now the cool part is Mercedes built these things like tanks. These are back when these cars were handmade. So all that trim around the windshield and up on the roofline is all metal with paint on it. And you betcha I'm gonna clear that too. So anyhow, watch me tape because it's exciting. All right, taping sucks, but it's necessary evil. So we're all taped up. I found a few wet spots, had to dry. And next thing we gotta do is tack because you know, lint-free rags are never lint-free. These lint-free rags were full of lint, so I got some of this stuff, Gerson tack cloth. I think I got it at O'Reilly's. But it's just these little cotton strips that have little tackiness to them, and anything that you touch on the paint sticks to them. So I'm gonna go over the whole car with these. I don't think I need to film that for you guys. And once I'm done with that, we'll come back and I'll show you the supplies I used today and how to mix this paint and the instructions he sends with it. I got it, the car's tacked, it's ready to go. So I'm going to show you the stuff that I'm using. I went ahead and bought Vice Grip Garage's Wipe On Clear Coat gloss finish. I think, yeah, Poppy's Patina makes this for him. But it comes with a quart of clear coat and a quarter pint of catalyst. Stuff that I bought on top of that: 7447 red Scotch Brights, 7448 gray Scotch Brights, yellow automotive masking tape, a bunch of mixing sticks, a couple of mixer cups with some filters, and the kit comes with 2 applicator pads. Now I'm going to only try to use one, so I have an extra one if I want to do more coats. I did buy some wet sandpaper and greaser wax remover, some lint-free cloth for the wax remover, and some tack cloth for the final step before paint. I also have a respirator. This is a pretty cheap one. I should probably be wearing something better than this, but it gets the job done. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up the first batch. Now these instructions say that the cup is 8-to-1. So what that means is we go to 8-to-1 on this cup, and whatever I fill up to the first line, let's say we fill to up here to this number 5. all that means is this next number 5 is where I need to go to with the catalyst. So if I go all the way up to here with clear coat, the very next 5 is how much catalyst I need, and that's mixed at 8:1. So these make it real simple. And then there's some filters here. I blew out the mixer cup with some compressed air, giving these a good shake. I don't think we're gonna need more than this, but nonetheless, we got 2 hours to get this on once I mix it. So catalyst 8:1. So we're going to the very top number 5 now, or the next number 5 up. Okay. All right, now we're gonna mix the potion together. Wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off. All right, it's time to paint. All right, I'm gonna let you guys watch me paint the hood, and I'm gonna put my respirator on. Once I paint the hood in front of you, I'll go fast motion. All right, here we go. We got 20 seconds per strip. All right, there's the hood. We're gonna move on to the rest of the car, but it's looking pretty sweet. Look at this thing. I mean, it looks killer. Look at all that patina. It's just brought it up to the surface, and look at how this trim looks after clear coating it. Again, it's metal trim. Obviously it's still wet, and it's a little uneven. I think it'll even out once it dries. But man, it is a little bit tricky wiping it on instead of spraying it. You've only got 20 seconds of working time once you lay it on the surface, so you got to kind of have a game plan, even strokes, and you can see as it's drying, you can see the strokes, but I think that once it's fully dry, you won't see that anymore. But man, it just brought this car to life. I think 24 hours to, it's 30 minutes dry to the touch, it says, and then 24 hours full cure. And then if you want to apply a second coat, it says a light scuff and then reapply. But man, I don't know that I'll even do that. I like it the way it is here now. I mean, look at how these drip rails turned out. It's so cool. We got inside the headlight buckets, turn signal buckets, to just put a little protection in there. I mean, remember how light the top of the roof was and just kind of darkened it out? The whole car looks... I even clear coated over these original Mercedes-Benz stickers. I popped the trunk open, got around the edges, clear coated over all that stuff. I will tell you this, I used way too much. I didn't need nearly what I mixed. Look at that. That stuff goes way farther than you think, and I just wasted all that material. I think there's probably half a can left in here, or a quarter can, which is enough to do a whole nother coat. But if you are watching this video, I would only mix like up to the 3 line in a mixer cup and use that. And then once you've done using that, mix a new batch, because I just wasted all that material. But man, I'm pretty pumped. Just standing back here, look at that thing. It was definitely worth it. I mean, is it a professional paint job? No. But I think for what I'm going for on this car, the kind of rat rod style, angry Mercedes look, I think this is killer. I dig the whole patina clear coat look. So, and what's really cool about this is, like, you know, you're making a one-of-a-kind car because you've got all this natural aging, and then depending on how aggressive you get sanding it, you can bring out the lines. Like, I kind of brought this out a little bit more than it was. And you get a truly one-off paint job that you can't recreate, you know? And I think it's cool that my business logo is kind of burned in. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but in person it's almost like a ghost logo. It's still got all its little dents and stuff. I mean, it's wicked. I'm pretty stoked. Well, what do you think? I think she turned out great. I mean, if I had paid somebody, you know, $10,000 for a paint job, I'd be super upset. But when you consider the fact that I have $200 into this and I did this in my garage in a day, it's awesome. Now you have to manage your expectations. If you ever painted little plastic models as a kid and you put clear coat on with a brush, that's kind of like what the finish looks like. You know, you can see your strokes in it. But this is, you really got to think of this clear coat as a preserver. You know, you're locking the car in with the patina that it's got. And it's a legit automotive clear coat with hardener in it. So UV resistant, you know, gas, oil resistant. But the brush stroke look kind of goes with the patina. So I really dig it. And if you noticed, I got the headlights mocked up for you guys, but I got rid of the European or the American style windshield wiper headlights and converted to the European headlights. They're just mocked up in there so I could show you guys I'm missing some Mercedes specific hardware. That's the problem with the European cars. But Put some delete panels to get rid of the wipers at the bottom. Got all one-piece glass headlights now instead of the ugly American plastic glass combos. And if you don't remember what that looks like, this is this guy right here. So I think it's a significant improvement. But anyhow, I think this product is awesome. I think if you took the time to actually spray it, you'd have a legitimate clear coat from a shop. I think next time I do it, I will try and spray it, but I really like how it turned out, especially the metal trim. Just the whole car, to me, looks like it's, I don't know, it brought it into this century, but it still kind of kept it old and cool, you know what I mean? And I don't know, pretty excited about it. So really what we got left to do on this thing is I got to put the new drive shaft in. We got to plumb the fuel system. We've got to plumb the oil system. We got to fabricate the cold and hot side turbo pipes, intercooler pipes. I've got a brand new harness from Wiring Specialties to put in. It's really just getting all the systems online. All the hard stuff's done. Oh, and I got to finish the last half of the exhaust out the back. I've got the exhaust routed to the rear axle. Now I got to get it out of the car and then weld everything up. But anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video, start to finish, on how to do your own clear coat, wipe on clear coat vice grip garage system. So we'll see you next time on Time with Steel Garage. Go ahead, like, subscribe, share with your friends. I appreciate the support. See you next time.